Kristen Strother and Shireen Horn from the Sexual Assault Treatment Center with Aurora Sinai Medical Center.
And we stand with survivors so that they know they are not alone.
I'm Jeff Kramers, Chief Judge, and I believe in sexual assault victims.
My name is Lakita Caldwell, and I work for the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee. When you believe a survivor, you give them a voice.
My name is McKenna Narone. I'm a senior at Wauwatosa East High School. And I stand with survivors especially my mom, because no one should live with a secret for 29 years and not tell because they're too afraid to tell.
I'm Kathy Arney from Pathfinders, and I stand with survivors, especially children.
My name is County Supervisor Peggy Romo West, and I stand with survivors.
I'm Mayor Tom Barrett, and I stand with survivors to break the silence. I want to thank you all for being here this morning. As many of you know, Denim Day really began back in 1999 when a woman in Italy who had been sexually assaulted, her perpetrator was found guilty at the trial court, but on appeal, the conviction was overturned when the judge said that she was wearing tight jeans and she must have taken them off herself, I think is what it was, and in essence blamed the victim for that sexual assault. That gained a lot of attention in Italy, throughout Europe, and ultimately in the United States. The verdict motivated women and men throughout Italy, and again ultimately here in the United States, to send a message that victims and survivors of sexual assault must be heard and supported. Every 2 minutes, someone in the United States is sexually assaulted. Children under the age of 12 represent 15% of all victims. Last night on the news, you may have seen the story about the daycare center in Cedarburg, where there was an incident that occurred there. It happens in this community, in all parts of this community, and among all economic strata in this community. According to the United States Department of Justice, over half of rapes and sexual assaults go unreported. This could also be the case here in Milwaukee. Why? Why is that happening? The reasons I think we all recognize are many. Victims may fear retaliation by their assailants or are concerned that they will not be believed by their family, friends, or authorities. They may worry they could be blamed for the assault. Some victims are so traumatized that they cannot begin to speak of the crime. There are a number of good people working on intervention, prevention, and healing for victims and survivors. Many of you are here today. And alongside of you throughout Milwaukee are the scores of persons of influence who, through the Denim Day Milwaukee effort, have begun not only a sexual assault awareness campaign, but a strengthened community movement to stand with survivors, to hold perpetrators accountable, to create a healing environment, and to make sure that persons whose lives have been ravaged by sexual assault will know that they are not alone. I want to recognize that we've been doing good work over the years with key legislation and funding like Violence Against Women Act, stronger state laws, criminal justice and provider alliances, stepping up reporting and servicing on college campus, violence prevention curricula in schools, and our understanding of the use of data and research to inform law enforcement, policymakers, and providers has been very important. Many of these changes occurred because of the hard work of the people in the trenches. And now let's take advantage of the goodwill and commitment of the Denim Day persons of influence, persons from many walks of life and all ages, to join with professionals in the fields to change the public discourse from scrutiny of victims to scrutiny of perpetrators. I ask you to take your message of support for survivors and against sexual violence to your workplace, to your faith communities, your elected officials, your schools, like McKenna Narone from Tosa East. Where's McKenna again? Thank you for being here, McKenna, who has collected over 1,000 pair of jeans. Is that very impressive, to create an amazing awareness campaign in her own community. We're very proud of her, very proud of her. With our Commission on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, I want to thank our partners in the Denim Day campaign, United Way, Aurora Healthcare, along with Marquette University, Mount Mary, community volunteers, and all the persons who have declared their support for victims and survivors of sexual assault. This is indeed a path for healing. Now I'd like to introduce Alderwoman Malala Cox, who has been very, very supportive of these efforts as well. Alderwoman?
Good morning. I am Alderwoman Milele A. Coggs, and I stand with survivors. Whether it is through the media, music, conversations at barbershops and beauty salons, or on street corners or over the dinner table, too often survivors are not allowed to have that comfortable space to be able to share their experiences. What Denim Day and the awareness campaign has done, and it's been miraculous to watch over the last several weeks, the viral campaign with it all, has allowed for there to be that safe space, has allowed for people to begin to understand that we must begin to talk about these issues. And I applaud the effort of the Domestic Violence Commission, as well as all those partners, agencies, organizations, and individuals who have worked so hard to create awareness about Denim Day and sexual assault in general, and have encouraged survivors to be able to share their stories, because it happens all too often, and our communities are way too quiet. And we all know that in order to truly decrease or eliminate sexual assaults and sexual violence, we must first begin to talk about it and admit that it exists. So I see this Denim Day as a spark, not only for today, but from moving forward. And I'm glad that the council has been able to help with some of the funding to promote this viral campaign, because we need to be talking about these issues. The only way we will address these issues is if we talk about them. So I just want to say I'm glad to be wearing my denim today, and I stand in solidarity with all my brothers and sisters who are working so diligently to bring this issue to the forefront. And happy Denim Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Before I bring up our next speaker, I'm going to do something I've never done before, and that is I want to recognize our 5 camera people who are all decked out in denim. So, good job. I'd now like to bring up Nicole Angrisano, Vice President of Community Impact for United Way, which has been a great partner. Nicole?
Thank you so much. My name is Nicole Angrisano. I'm with United Way of Greater Milwaukee, and I stand with survivors because I want them to know they're not alone. And I'm so humbled to be here today. United Way of Greater Milwaukee has been supporting this effort for the last few years. This is our 3rd year, but none of that would have happened without the extraordinary passion and dedication of my team member, Dawn Helmerick, who I'm just inspired by every day, and I thank you so much. She brings so much heart to this work, and I have such a great privilege of working with and supporting agencies. So many of you are doing the hard work every day on the ground. Pathfinders and the Healing Center, Sojourners, I'm so pleased to see you here today. It's a blessing for me to go to work and to work with the men and women who are out there every day supporting survivors. I'm really excited. I feel a little bit like a groupie to meet McKenna in person. McKenna, what you've done, I wish I was half as together as you were at your age. It's really extraordinary, and I'm hopeful for the future if you're the kind of person that we're raising in this community to shed light on this issue. So thank you so much for letting us be a part of this day.
The Aurora Healthcare Foundation has been a great partner to us, and I'd like to bring up Christy Garcia-Thomas. Christy?
I'm Christy Garcia-Thomas, President of the Aurora Healthcare Foundation, and I stand with survivors for the sake of their health. Dr. Nick Turkle, Aurora Healthcare President and CEO, and I were pleased to join in the community leaders and helping Mayor Barrett and his wife and all of the wonderful participants. There's over 20 companies that are participating citywide to help bring awareness and recognition to this terrible issue that's impacting children, men and women and families on a daily basis. Aurora has been committed to helping our patients who have been sexually assaulted for many, many years, and we are the only one in the city with the Sexual Assault Treatment Center who are on the ground working in this effort on a regular basis. I'm looking at the team over there that does this work. They are a service to our community that's here 24/7. They help people from crisis to healing and making sure that they're doing everything that they can to support these patients who come to us. We see over 500 patients in the Sexual Assault Treatment Center on an annual basis. In addition to that, Aurora is committed to the healing process of what it takes to help survivors heal. And we have the only healing center in the city working with families and individuals on a day-to-day basis. We recently received a gift from a 10-year-old who asked, instead of having birthday presents given to her for a 10-year-old birthday party, she asked her friends to make a donation in honor of her mother who was sexually assaulted, and she provided that donation to the Healing Center. So, you know, the efforts that are being made to help support these victims are tremendous, but we stand here today to say we need to stop this in our city and in our community and in our state, and we'll do all the things that we can through Aurora Healthcare to help make that happen. So thank you for allowing us to be a part of this.
Thank you, Christy, very much, and thanks again to Aurora. Next, I'd like to introduce Bevan Baker, our Commissioner of Health, who works on this on a daily basis. Bevan?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Bevan Baker. I'm the Health Commissioner of the City of Milwaukee, and I stand by my Denim statement. The well-being of survivors is among my highest priorities. It is. And for those who wonder where my jeans is, I want you to know that I am on the Facebook page of Milwaukee's Denim Day Facebook page in jeans. So it gives you a reason to go and hit that Facebook page. You're going to see me there in jeans. We know sexual violence is a public health issue, and it affects millions and millions of Americans. There are no boundaries. It impacts all types of individuals, every spectrum, every age, every ethnicity, every race, every gender, every social economic status. According to the CDC, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men in the U.S. have been raped at some time in their lives. It's estimated that almost half of women, 44%, nearly a quarter of all men in the United States experience some violence, sexual violence or victimization other than rape in their lifetime. And over 1/4 of male victims experience their first rape at or before the age of 10, while 42% of female victims are raped before the age of 18. So it's important that we understand we need to prevent sexual victimization and sexual violence before it happens, because it happens very early. As the mayor mentioned earlier, we saw what happened in a daycare in Cedarburg. Survivors can expect some long-term issues. This is not a one-time thing. They can expect chronic pain. They can expect eating disorders. They can expect sexually transmitted disease, their whole emotional well-being. They can expect that to be compromised. Anxiety, depression, this goes on and on. They smoke, they have alcoholism, they have risky sexual behaviors going on. The facts are just staggering, but it's not insurmountable. And it's not insurmountable because we can use a public health model. We can go upstream. We can prevent this before it happens. We can strengthen our resolve and our response, and we can look at some long-term solutions. The city of Milwaukee is committed to addressing sexual violence. It's home, the health department is home to the Milwaukee Commission on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, and we have over 30 years of working to increase the safety of victims of sexual assault and to hold these perpetrators accountable. Through this commission and the valuable partnerships of so many agencies, we can work with law enforcement, we can work with other service providers in the area, and we can get the support to the victims, because this day is really about supporting the victims and preventing more victims. And as we learned through the Denim Days, these Persons of Influence campaign, that every community leader plays a role in this. But even if you're someone that we've never heard of, someone that has no outward appearance of influencing people, you can do something about this. Schools, workplaces, they can target sexual harassment. The media, you can promote positive social norms to say that this is a violence-free zone, that Milwaukee is a violence-free zone and healthy behaviors can be here. So it's my sincere hope that when we look at Denim Day in the future and we talk about the important dialogue, that we can look back on this as a watershed moment. We can look back that when high school teens, like the great one here who got 1,000 pairs of jeans, when they wear jeans, they can look back to 2013 as a day that we talked about it. But jeans didn't represent healthy behaviors. They represent someone you love and someone you care about. It represents that we simply listen and we believe. And for that, I thank you for participating in Denim's Day. And hit the Facebook page and see me in my denim. Thank you.
Representing County Executive Chris Abele is Jim Duff, who is the Director of Milwaukee County Veteran Services. Jim, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Jim Duff. I'm with the Milwaukee County Veteran Service Office, and I'm here representing County Executive Chris Abele. I'd like to make my personal statement and then read and present the proclamation. I believe in survivors, and let me just elaborate on that. If you are, or ever will be, a survivor of sexual assault, whether you're a man, woman, or child, I want you to know today that you are not alone. You have supporters and believers in your family and among your acquaintances. And now, because of this Denim Day campaign, spearheaded by Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett, you know something else. You have friends in high places who believe in you. Tom Mayor, Mayor of the great city of Milwaukee, is on your side. He has publicly declared it. My boss, Chris Abele, the executive of the greatest county in Wisconsin, is on your side. He stands with you. And his support of Denim Day, and more importantly, his support of sexual assault survivors, is just one example of it. The Attorney General of this great state, J.B. Van Hollen, is on your side. He said so. And people in organizations, both public and private, throughout this area, citizens and even students, have made their positions known. There is no silence. They have made a public statement of their support. If you have been, or ever will be, a survivor of sexual assault, don't be silent. Make a public report. There is no debate. We are on your side. We believe in you. Case closed. And now I'd like to read the executive proclamation from County Executive Chris Abele. Whereas on April 24, 2013, Milwaukee County joins the community in recognizing Denim Day, an international sexual assault prevention and education campaign that began in 1999, and whereas in 1998, an 18-year-old Italian woman was raped by her driving instructor and brought accusations against the perpetrator, who was arrested and sentenced to jail for the assault, but was released after arguing that the victim's jeans were too tight and therefore she must have removed them herself, making the sex consensual. And whereas Denim Day has evolved into an international campaign as an act of solidarity with the survivors of sexual assault, and whereas Denim Day is a statement that the culture of victim blaming must come to an end, and whereas on Denim Day, I ask residents to join Milwaukee County, the City of Milwaukee, United Way, Aurora Healthcare, and other community partners in support of sexual assault survivors by wearing denim. Now therefore, I, Chris Abele, County Executive of Milwaukee County, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2013 to be Denim Day throughout Milwaukee County, and I call upon our citizens to show their support of sexual assault survivors and help bring an end to the victim blaming of sexual assault survivors. Given under my hand, Chris Abele, Milwaukee County Executive.
Finally, I'd like to introduce Dawn Helmrich, the United Way staff. She's the member of the City Commission on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, and she's the brains behind the Person of Influence campaign and a survivor. Dawn?
Thank you, everyone. I am so unbelievably overwhelmed and humbled right now. 3 years ago, I went to the National Sexual Assault Conference and heard about this silly little thing called Denim Day. And I was lucky enough to have some good friends in some good places who were very supportive. Nicole Angrisano, the commission, WCASA, who really heard my voice and wanted to do something about this. I'm not really the brainchild. Melinda Hughes is actually the brainchild behind the Denim Day Person of Influence campaign. She mentioned in a meeting, at a Denim Day planning meeting, hey, maybe we should do this. And then she walked away. And I went, oh, okay, well, let's see what we can do. I do want to thank Leanna Vanaram. She's the founder of Shutter the Silence, but she's also the designer of the jean pocket. And without that jean pocket and those statements, the way that they're presented, it wouldn't be the same. It's really phenomenal, her design in that. Her and I also sat in my living room, actually in my dining room, at my dining room table one evening and put together the web gallery, and without her assistance in that, it wouldn't look the way it does either. I just want to say, Denim Day in Milwaukee has become rather large, including partners like the City of Milwaukee and the Mayor's Office, the Healing Center, Pathfinders, the Sexual Assault Treatment Center, Marquette University, MATC, Mount Mary College, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, the Aurora Foundation, United Way, and multiple survivors. When we started this, we wanted 30 pictures, one for each day in April, and we have to date 106. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. Denim Day is a positive way to create awareness around victim blaming. So often the words a survivor hears when they tell their story is a blaming statement such as, what were you wearing? What were you doing in that neighborhood? How many drinks did you have? We wanted to give survivors a positive way to feel supported, and this is how we've done it. I want to thank everybody here today, every person of influence, no matter whether you're a 7-year-old boy whose mom is all for survivors, my children, or a survivor or a community leader. This is just so amazing. And I really hope every single solitary survivor out there, whether they've told their story or not, feels the love and support from all of you people today, because this is just one heck of an amazing day for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn, for all your work. You did a great job. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all for being here this morning. We appreciate your support. Have a great day. Thank you.